So if you were like me and sometime last week you failed to make to mobile money transaction or mobile money transactions to e-wallet, in this YouTube video I'm going to explain to you exactly what happened, talk to you in detail about how there was a hack on MTN mobile money, Airtel mobile money and e-wallet platform. So you definitely need to keep watching this YouTube video. Hello, my name is Naga Joan and this is the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel. So the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is a place where we have free and honest conversations, especially in regards to commercial transactions and cyberspaces. If this sounds like something you're interested in, kindly subscribe to this YouTube video. You're going to see the subscribe button under this video somewhere here. Yes, kindly subscribe and then also hit the notification bell, which is somewhere under this video, so that you are notified every time I release new videos, and I release new videos religiously, like the boss I am. The Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is also an addition of Ask Me About the Law blog and Ask Me About the Law podcast. If you're interested and would like to check them out, I'm going to leave them linked in the description box of this YouTube video. Kindly check them out. They're very informative because I tend to include information that I really cannot say or include in the videos for purposes of not making the video lengthy. So the story that was running in the tabloids for purposes of this blog, let me quote the Observer. The Observer alleged that it came to their attention that there was a hack that affected the MTN mobile money platform, the Airtel mobile money platform, as well as the Stanbic Bank e-wallet platform. So basically, the impact of this was that customers of MTN were not able to make transactions to Airtel mobile money and vice versa, and at the same time customers of Stanbic Bank that were using their e-wallets to make transactions, for example paying for utilities, i.e. umeme, water, were struggling to make transactions. In fact, it is argued and alleged that some other customers noticed irregularities on their e-wallet accounts when they were trying to make payments or bank money transfers. A joint statement between Stanbic Bank, Airtel and MTN states that, and it reads, the press statement was released on 5th October. It was Stanbic Bank Uganda, MTN Uganda and Airtel Uganda would like to inform the public and their customers that on Saturday, 3rd October 2020, a third-party service provider experienced a system incident in which impacted bank to mobile money transactions. All bank mobile money wallet services have since been temporarily suspended. The system incident has had no impact on any balances on both bank and mobile money accounts. A press statement continues to say that technical teams are analyzing the incident and will restore services as soon as possible. They also allege that they apologize to all customers for any inconveniences and commit to delivering seamless banking and mobile money services to its customers. So this was signed by MTN mobile money, Airtel mobile money, as well as Stanbic Bank of Uganda. Some customers say they noticed irregularities on their account as early as Thursday, so the communication was only brought to the customer's attention on 5th October. Now we're going to understand the legal implications of this, but have this in mind that it is alleged that the hackers attacked a third-party platform. Now the third-party platform, there's a software developer company that creates its platform. It's called Pegas. Pegas is the provider that was hired by Stanbic Bank, MTN mobile money and Airtel to create a software that is used in these transactions to provide seamless and effortless transaction of money on mobile money platforms. Now it is this service provider whose software was hacked, which then compromised the mobile money systems of MTN mobile money, Airtel mobile money, as well as Stanbic Bank e-wallet. These technological giants, MTN mobile money, Airtel mobile money, Stanbic Bank, only communicated on 5th October, yet the hack, it is alleged that it came to their attention as early as 3rd October. Is not something that I personally find shocking, because history has served us right to point out the fact that financial institutions are rarely forthcoming to report such incidences. In fact, I do recall an event, I think sometime last year or 2 years back, where Equity Bank lost a hefty sum of income due to electronic fraud, which happened all through Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, as well as also perpetrators were in Uganda. So it's not something that I personally find very shocking. According to statistics from the Uganda National Uganda Cybersecurity Report of 2017, it confirms that a total of 95.6% of cybersecurity incidences go unreported, and a large contributing factor is that because banks are financial institutions or mobile money institutions, they rarely want to come to you as a customer and tell you, hey, there's a high possibility we've lost your money and your money. It's not a conversation that you'd feel very comfortable with. So in order to try and protect their brand, their credibility, and also to not lose you as a customer, they will try not to tell you unless things are really that bad. So this entire situation has really pointed out to me the fact that we should have a conversation on electronic fraud in Uganda. Now, the facts I've explained to you, the situation happening on mobile money, Airtel, MTN Mobile Money and Stanbic Bank e-wallet, what would define as the offense of electronic fraud. And it's not something that is very new. You know, it's penalized under the current Computer Misuse Act. But most of the comments I was getting from you guys was that it was something that you thought is a new offense. So in this video, we're going to talk about the offense of electronic fraud. So first of all, Section 19, Clause 2 of the Computer Misuse Act provides for the offense of electronic fraud, and it says that it means the use of deception deliberately performed with the intention of securing an unfair or unlawful gain when part of the communication is sent through a computer network or any other communication, and other parts through the action of the victim of the offense, or the action is performed through a Computer Misuse Act. So Section 19, Clause 1 of the Computer Misuse Act proceeds to state the penalties that one will suffer at the hands of the court if they are found guilty for committing this offense. And it provides that, one, if any individual proceeds to state that a person who has carried the electronic fraud commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 360 currency points, or imprisonment not exceeding 15 years, or both. So what will happen is you'll either have to pay a financial penalty, face imprisonment, or you could have a combination of both. It really depends on the judge you're before and how you argue your case. Now, on this note, I want us to also take a step back and look at incidences in the past that have or that would characterize as amounting to electronic fraud. One that I can think of offhand that I really think would bring this entire discussion to home is an incident over one Mr. Patrick. Mr. Patrick, former employee of MTN Mobile Money, and it is alleged that he participated in electronic fraud as early as 2011 and executed a mobile money scam that plunged the telecom company into a loss of 10.2 billion. So Mr. Patrick Sentongo, alongside his co-accused, there was one Ms. Joan, there was Mr. Brian Okurut, Ms. Angelo, Mr. Brian Eria, and also Mr. Richard, who was his boss at the time. So it is alleged that Mr. Patrick was the perpetrator, the mastermind of his hack. So he created an alias, a one Ronald. Then he used that alias to make transactions. He made transactions on a mobile money account. There's a mobile money account, MTN system, which every time you make transactions, for example, if you want to pay for electricity or you want to pay for TV or any other utility, and unfortunately you dial a wrong code, say the TV code should be star 260, and when you're dialing, you dial star 70, and unfortunately, you know, the money is transferred from your mobile money account to now this account, let's call it the undisputed account. So this money would go to that account. Now the functionality of the mechanics of that account is that money can come into that account, right? But money cannot go out into that from that account. So the account is created, but it doesn't have structures to allow, let me say, customers who would call MTN Mobile Money to say, I made a wrong initiation, could you please kindly refer my account? So as you can imagine, over time, the account will accumulate ridiculous sums of money because it is not withdrawn, it's just sitting there incubating. Let's put this in perspective. Let's imagine we're a population of over 42.6 million Ugandans, and let's say hypothetically 20 million of Uganda's population subscribe to MTN, and let's say those 20 million make a mistake just in a day of making a transaction of 100 shillings, right? Now if you do the math, you will still know that they would still make a hefty sum of money from just that. Now imagine we do that for just a week alone. this account, because there are no systems that are harmonized to try and remit back money to customers who have accidentally made these unfortunate transactions, the money accumulates over time. Now, Mr. Patrick Sentongo used this opportunity to create the alias that I've talked about, one Mr. Robert, and then he used that alias to create and generate e-money, which is on that mobile money account. Then he swifted it to 12 other SIM cards. Now, with his core accomplices, Alice, Robert, all those names I've talked about, they created these 12 SIM cards. They then use these 12 SIM cards to actively go to a mobile money individual and withdraw the money using these 12 SIM cards. So what do I want you to take away from this? I need you to have this in mind, that every time you make a mobile money transaction, because you don't have a physical cash, whatever you're transferring is e-money. What do I mean by this? Say Sharon is in Gulu, right? Sharon asks me to make a mobile money transaction from my phone to her phone, and she's asked me to send 100,000 shillings. So I will go to the mobile money individual near me to make the transaction, and I will deposit. So when I'm depositing, I will give the mobile money individual the 100,000 shillings, and in return, they will transfer virtual e-money to my phone. Now, when they transfer virtual e-money to my phone, then I will, based on my phone, to make that transfer of now the e-money to Sharon's phone, which then she will show to a mobile money individual in Gulu, who will then, based on that transaction, to give her physical cash. Now, that is the harmony of how a mobile money ecosystem works, is that in as much as e-money is being transferred on your mobile phone, they're just digits being transferred, the system needs to be harmonized with physical money transferring and exchanging hands. If there is no harmony and the books of physical money do not balance with the books of e-money, then there is a problem. Now, Mr. Patrick used this opportunity to benefit from the loopholes that were in this system. How did he do that? See, again, like I said, he used his alias to transfer money from this mobile money and disputed account. Now, when he made the transfers, he put them on the 12 SIM cards, which he and his fellow accomplices then used to actively withdraw money. So when they were withdrawing that physical money, there was no actual money, physical money that they had directly shared, but to allow them to withdraw that money. So technically now the books are not balancing, because the e-money says something different and the physical money then says another completely different thing. I really hope my explanation is making sense to you. If it's not making sense to you, please leave me a comment in the description box, in the comment section of this YouTube video, so that I take time and find a way for you to understand the explanation. But if you're understanding what I'm trying to explain to you so far, kindly give me a thumbs up so that I know you've understood. So Mr. Patrick Sentongo tried to use this to his benefit because he saw a loophole in the system. Then he made the withdrawal using those 12 mobile money cards to make the initiation. Now, it is alleged that he still also used the loophole in the system. The platform service provider at the time did not endeavor to patch the loophole in that system, so it is that system that allowed the loopholes in that system that allowed Mr. Patrick to be able to carry out this fraud without MTN big bosses being able to pick up on it. It is further alleged that between 2011 and 2014, 3 different audit documents presented to the court showed that MTN management actually knew about Mr. Patrick Sentongo's activities, illegal activities of electronic fraud, but however they didn't know how to stop it, which then prompted Bank of Uganda to try and come in swiftly to try and mitigate the solution. So this led to the formation of what we now know as the mobile money guidelines. They are not really written in stone as per se, but right now they're the mitigating factors trying to regulate the mobile money ecosystem, because at this point in time, mobile money is something that the laws of Uganda are trying to play catch up with. Now, on this note, I really encourage you to watch a video I did in the past. It's called "Are You Really Safe Online?" It will really explain to you exactly what amounts to the offense of electronic fraud, because one of the core elements of electronic fraud is someone accessing your information and i.e. by information I mean your mobile money details, because the laws of Uganda look at your mobile money account information as private information, your bank account information as private information. So for someone to access that information, they need to have authorization from you. If they do not have authorization from you, then they're violating the laws of Uganda. So that's the general rule. There are exceptions to that law, which I extensively talk about in that video, Are You Really Safe Online? So I really encourage you to take time to, watch it alongside this video. It will give you a bigger picture of what this whole context is about. So the matter of Mr. Patrick Ssentongo's actions was presented before the Honorable Court in the case of Uganda versus Ssentongo and 4 others before the Anti-Corruption Division criminal case number 123 of 2012, in which the presiding judge stated that Mr. Patrick Ssentongo's actions amounted to electronic fraud because he created aliases which he used to access people's personal information without their authorization, especially in regards to the customer's information. Like again I said, accessing your information without your authorization, be it your mobile money information, your bank account information, is illegal under the laws of Uganda. That's a general rule. Again, I really encourage you to watch a video I have done, which is Are You Really Safe Online? It will explain to you what exactly I'm trying to say here. That video explains the grounds in which the court based on to define that Mr. Patrick Ssentongo's actions amounted to electronic fraud. So it also said that because Mr. Patrick Ssentongo directly benefited from this electronic fraud, he's directly liable for that, for committing the offense of electronic fraud. So during investigations, the investigators found properties that were property titles and properties that were in Mr. Patrick Ssentongo's names, which according to trying to make the relation between the properties he acquired and as well as the salaries he was earning from MTN, it was proved to the court that there was no correlation. So basically, he was buying all these ridiculously expensive properties, and yet the income that he was earning from his mobile money job, MTN job, was not really justifying how he was raising the money. So his defense was that, he was a reputable businessman and that's how he was able to raise the money, but the judge was not very satisfied with his explanation. So for that, the judge held that he committed the offense of electronic fraud. In addition to that, the judge also noted that because some of the transactions were allegedly conducted in his wife's name, in his wife's company's name, and the state was able to prove to the court that there was a connection between the withdrawals carried out and also that they were used by an account connected to his wife and also his wife's business. So that directly created a relationship in which he personally benefited. It didn't really help much that his wife, maybe it would have helped clear his case. Who knows? Court held that Mr. Patrick Ssentongo's actions were a violation and amounted to electronic fraud, which is inconsistent with the Computer Misuse Act. You have been watching the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel. The Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is a place where we have free and honest conversations, and I am your host, Nagaev Jowan. If you've enjoyed what we have talked about in this YouTube video, kindly go down to the video and just give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Or you can always just leave a comment, suggestion, recommendation in the comment section. I always endeavor to answer each and every comment that comes in from you guys. If you'd like to talk to me in person, my social media handles, I'm going to leave them in the description box of this YouTube video, also to check them out. If you'd like to ask me about the law or send any questions that you'd like to have addressed either directly on the show or privately, I'm also going to leave the handles, the social media handles, linked in the description box of this YouTube video, so you definitely have to check them out. Until next week, I remain your host, yours truly, Nagaev Jowan. Don't forget to wear a mask and stay safe.